What's going on, world? Rocking with the young man Nuke, and this is Fresh Radio, where I bring you family, revolution, edutainment, spirituality, health, and hip hop all in one show. Still under the weather a little bit, getting better day by day, but man, the sinuses is a trip, dude. Like, yeah, it just is what it is. Coming here to there's a couple things that just occurred to me in the last 24. I do a recap of my 24, and maybe I should start doing this twice a day. It's not like it takes up a lot of time, but during by the end of the day, I'd just be so drained, and I don't really want to come out here and do this. But maybe I should do it twice a day, just to recap my day in the morning and recap my day at night, because there's so many things that happens and occurs to me over the course of a 24-hour period that I just got a lot to say. Like even just this morning. It took me a lot to get to this point right now because I had to redirect my energy towards something a little bit more positive. I do doom scroll from time to time, and I catch myself, and then I try to do something else, but then I just jump onto another app, which is stupid. But in the same breath, I want to touch on two different topics today. I want to touch on the fact that there are people in your life, the one who listening, there are people in your life who really have all of the worst things to say about you. They won't say anything. They'll smile in front of your face. What they do. And they will spread the nastiest of rumors and accolades about you behind your back. I just so happen to have blood relations to some of these people. So, a lot of people that I've crossed paths with, I don't really too much tend to make them know, never mind, but in the same breath, the blood relation individuals, it always comes back to me one way or another. You dig? And it doesn't even have to be a set time frame or whatnot. Sometimes I hear about it immediately as it's going down. Sometimes I hear about it a year or two later, but eventually I hear about it, and that's the power of God. God always opens the way and shows the door. The truth shall be not slid up under a rug. It always comes back to those who it should. You can't. Where was it? Whatever you do in the dark comes to light. Yeah, it usually comes to me. So I just want to say this. This is not a direct. I'm not saying this directly to those who slander me or even slander you. I'm just saying this as a general. There are people in your life who really don't want to see you win. There are people in your life who thrive on your displeasures and downfalls. There are people in your life who get off on the fact that you are not achieving your supreme destiny, your supreme purpose. They really, really love the fact that they can say things about you, and in order to drag your energy down or bring it down to a different level, yeah, they really, 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 really want to make sure that you are not at your best. And with that being said, continue to thrive, my peoples. Continue to thrive. Continue to spread joy, love, and all of those things. Because when they find out that there's nothing that they can do to stop you, that's when they have to move forward with their miserable lives. The things that occur on in their life, they have to deal with that because they can no longer deal with you. And that's that. I don't want to name names because I'm not trying to give power to those people, but in the same breath, they know who they are. And I hope this message delivers to them eventually. The same way that I find out about them, I hope they find out about this. I just don't have the time to point fingers or anything like that. So, it just is what it is. I will be continuing to do me because I know it pisses them off. And the fact that they don't have to get to this point, that's it. So, yeah. And the one thing is, I don't have a problem saying anything to anybody to their face. I don't have no problem with that. I don't got no fear in that. I don't have no preconceived notions. I don't care what person has to say. If I feel a certain way, I will say it. Sometimes I don't say it, just because I'm just not moved to. But don't think I won't. There was a point in time when I used to partake in the airborne enrichments, and I smoked with my aunts, and they were fearful that their mother would find out that they were smoking. And I said, I don't care. I will go in the house and I will tell her that I smoke weed with you. And they looked at me crazy. But that's because it's not something, this is my life. And if you have something to say about it, then that's fine. You have something to say about it, but I'm still going to continue to do what I do. You dig? I live in my truth. Whatever my truth is, even if it's wrong, I live in my truth. And that's one thing that people respect about me, is the fact that I have no problem. I have no problem sitting in my truth. And if my truth is wrong, I have no problem trying to adjust. I might not want to adjust, but I don't have a problem adjusting. I don't have a problem trying to, like, if I, let me see, what's a good example? If I'm making pancakes in the morning and I'm putting eggs in the already made pancake mix that you just gotta add water. If I'm putting eggs in there, I don't have a problem with someone coming up and telling me, "Hey, you don't got to put eggs in there. You can just put water in there." And I'll be like, "Really? Yeah, that's just how you do it. You just put water in there. You can mix it up. Really? Okay. Yeah, I'll adjust. In the same breath, I'm not going to argue and fight with people who, hey, you need to put water in there. There's no, listen, you better change your energy tone when you're talking to me. So, yeah, that's honestly, I just want to come up in here and say that part. Man, just stay true to you. Don't worry about what a hater might say, because more than likely people that talk bad about you are basically jealous of what you got going on in your life, and that's that. I can name some things that I feel could be jealous worthy, but why not? I don't want to dwell on that. Just keep it moving, keep it pushing, and do that. And the other thing I want to talk about, our elders. Not necessarily just because you're older than me makes you an elder, even though I do have a cousin who's 50 years old. She's old as hell. Damn, she's almost 60, because I'm almost whatever. But yeah, I want to talk about our elders and the fact that this is true to a degree, depending on who you are. Our elders currently, if you're an 80s baby, you're born in the 80s, our elders have lived a life that is not like what it is today. They are archaic in their way of thinking and also in their way of doing things. If they have pulled themselves out of the mud and achieved a little success, they were able to have a color TV in their household, and they were also able to have a vacuum sweeper and a clicker for their television. So they reach around and rinse things off and on the sink, and they have a colander. So those individuals, they just do a little bit. They do things differently, and you need to really be mindful of their mental health. I say this because there are those who, I know y'all ain't trying to hear all that, but I apologize. But there are those who, they're just not taking care of themselves in the most proper way. They probably haven't always taken care of themselves in the most proper way. But being a child, you were either told to stay in the child's place, you stayed in the child's place, or you just were ignorant of the fact of what adults do. And I happen to fall into all three of those categories. Saying that to say this, I know that the adults that were around me during my come up were into some heinous activities. Oh my Lord, they were into some heinous activities. And as of now, those things are catching up to them. And it's having effect. It's having the effect that has hyper progressed their aging of their molecular cells, and in turn that comes out in their face, and that comes out in their weight, that comes out in their mental capacity, that comes out into their just a whole bunch of different things. So, I'm saying all this to say, um, be mindful, because a lot of our elders are operating out of an ignorance that they believe is true. You know, there is a certain capacity that takes place when you've grown up and pulled yourself out of the mud, and you believe that this is the only way. And by that being the case, I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that's listening, but I feel that the elders who've reached 75 plus, they got to that age based upon their own gumption, and they feel that they have done no wrong. When in all actuality, the things that they've done to reach that level are skimming by the hairs of their chinny chin chin. You dig? So yeah, I want to make sure that everybody understands and knows that um, just, man, be mindful of your elders. You dig? That's basically it. I don't want to ramble too much more about that, because I could go more into depth. I think I start getting personal, but I really don't like to get personal on my podcast. I like to keep things general as possible so it can reach a lot of people. And maybe if I start doing interviews with other people, and then we can get personal on those interviews depending on the questions that they ask. But just stay tuned for any and everything that goes on with me, and then yeah, we'll roll like that. So yeah, I got some things coming up in the plan. Don't even really want to address it at this moment. But let's just say that starting next week, I will be playing my music, on these daily recaps. Just because I can, I have that ability, I have that capability, and also because I just want to promote. At the end of the day, I want to push things out. I am a copyright holder to a couple different songs. So yeah, I just want to make sure I put those out there. And then in the same breath, it's time. It's time. It's time. Yeah. So if you haven't already, check me out on my website, nuknoe.com. Just go over there, peruse a little bit, sign up for a newsletter. I think there's a newsletter on there. And then, man, send me a message. Let me know that you stopped through. And I just want to hear from people just to see if things are clicking with you. I'm working on some like I said, I'm working on some things. And I don't want to announce it till I announce it. So yeah, we'll come up like that. And then the poetry book, Drawn Poetically, is available. It's currently on sale. I'm still in the midst of fundraising. I don't even know if I should start a GoFundMe. Maybe I should start a GoFundMe. Maybe I should call a white person a cracker at the park or some shit like that and get $500,000. I think that's what the goal is. I don't know, but yeah, Drawn Poetically, the poetry book, got about 100 poems in there or something like that. And also the Royalty Collection Guide, the Beginner's Royalty Collection Guide. Is a dope book. I put it together just so that you could have some understanding of how to go about collecting your royalties for the songs that you release. And then I am also going to be putting out what is the name of the book? I'm going to be putting out the what is it called? Reset and Radiate self-help book, I guess. I got to really dig into this a little bit more just so I can come up with an understanding of what it is. I have pieced it together for my own personal pleasure, but I want to take this to the next level and get on the Canva and come up with a cover and put it together a little bit more seamlessly than what it is right now, so that way it can have some type of flow to it, and that you can turn to whatever page you need and get to whatever you want out of it. So this is something I'm working on for myself, trying to come into alignment with me and make sure that I'm on the same page. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if anything, if you want to holler at me, speak at me, talk to me, NUK no E dot LINK. Those are all my social medias and all my blogs and things of that nature. And then also, NUKNOE.com, NUKNOE, .com. And yeah, just trying to take it one day at a time, y'all. If you're not familiar at all, just get at me and we'll figure it out. Y'all be smooth. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next trip. Peace.